So, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Blue Jacket Banner. My name is Jose Gomez and I'm your host. So, I have some very special guests with me today and I'll let them introduce themselves.
My name is Lainee Gill, and I'm serving as a reporter for the Ware County High FFA chapter.
My name is Lindsy and I am serving as the president of the Ware County High FFA chapter.
My name is Elly Blackrick, and I'm the assistant reporter for the Ware County High School FFA chapter.
All right, so it's nice to have y'all here today and I'm glad y'all made the trip to get here.
I know, it was such a long drive.
Yeah,
Such a long drive.
It was a long walk for me.
All right, so before we get to the banner, we have to break the ice. So, there's a spinning wheel right there on y'all's table. So, if y'all don't mind spinning it and tell me what number it lands on,
Who first?
and it doesn't matter, y'all can choose
can.
between yourselves.
Scissors, shoot.
Oh, rock,
Paper, scissors, shoot.
You got me, you go. Jeez, Lindsay.
It's spinning.
Is it ever going to stop?
I don't think so.
I made it a little bit too spinny.
Three?
Is that a three?
Three?
Three.
Three.
Number
All right. What is your favorite TV show or movie?
Hands down, Duck Dynasty. Love it.
Duck Dynasty?
Yes.
I still have yet to see a Duck Dynasty.
Jose,
Same.
you've
I've
got to
never,
see it.
I've never seen it
You've
either.
got to
I've
see
never
it.
seen it.
All right, who's going
Where
next?
you want me to
You can go.
Okay. Let me not do it as hard as Lindsay did. Ooh. Two.
Two. If you could travel anywhere, let me restart. If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would it be and why?
Ooh, anywhere in the world? That's like a really hard question. Like, I've always like a dream like vacation kind of thing. I'd like want to go to Paris, but like right now after a long school day, I want to be in my bed.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right.
What's it gonna be? One. So
Yeah, that's
3, 2,
one.
1.
3 to 1. All right. Let me check. Okay. If you had any superpower, what would it be and why?
I would have the superpower to be able to go back in time.
Go back in time?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Why?
Well,
why?
I just want to learn about our culture in our United States of America.
How everything began?
Yep.
I like this.
All right. So, now getting into the banner, can y'all tell me a little bit about yourselves? About y'all-selves.
So like I said earlier, my name is Lainee Gill, and I'm serving as a reporter this year, and I'm really excited about that. But other than FFA, a little bit about me. I love my church. I go to church. I do a little bit of singing. I'm not the best at it, but it's okay. I also have 2 chickens, and their names are Sassy and Tender, and I love them oh so much.
So like I said, I was the president. My name's Lindsay, and so I grew up like staying in the outdoors. I love to hunt, fish, just do anything like that, and I enjoy being around people. And most of all, I enjoy making connections with people.
My name is Elly, and I grew up in a church family, and I also grew up in Florida, and so I was not around a lot of agriculture. And when I got into 7th grade and I heard about it, I was like, "What is that?" Like, I've never heard of that. All I knew is like we get food from the store, things like that.
Well, it was nice knowing more about y'all. So, can y'all tell me when did y'all's FFA journey start?
You go first again.
Well, my FFA journey started back in middle school, but I'll say, like, other than me going to just, like, a couple of meetings, I didn't get really involved. Then when I got to high school, I was like, maybe it's good if I get into an organization, something I can be myself in, something I can grow in. And then I went to an FFA meeting, and I fell in love with it. I feel like it's made me grow so much, and starting out, I had no officer positions, but now this year, it's my senior year, and I'm the FFA president, and I'm so excited.
My FFA journey was a little bit different than everybody else. I was homeschooled up until 6th grade. So 7th grade year was my first year in a public school. I kind of felt out of place and like I didn't belong in some like social situations, especially since I didn't have that experience from elementary school. So when I got into 7th grade at open house, I got this paper and it said join FFA. And I was like, I have no idea what this is, but I want to be in a club. I want to be around people. So I joined it and I went to a couple meetings that year. I did the Waycross Fair mini booth and all of that stuff. And I just kind of went on from there in 8th grade. I got my first officer position as secretary. Last year, my 9th grade year, I was a junior representative for the high school. And then this year, it's my sophomore year and I'm the reporter. And since I've joined FFA, like, I've never looked back. And like Lindsay said, it's made me a better person and it's made me grow a lot.
Yeah. My journey technically started in 7th grade, but it didn't really like kick off until 8th grade when I got the position as vice president for our chapter. And then I started getting involved and obviously had to go to the meetings, and so I started to fall in love with FFA. And then my agriculture teacher was telling us about the different competitions, and I decided I wanted to prepare public speaking, and I really leaned into that, and that's where I found my passion for FFA.
See, I like how all y'all's journey started. Somebody started from being in the county, somebody came from being homeschooled, and somebody came from another state.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that kind of helps with getting new people involved because you can relate to some of their stories and where they come from, whether they be homeschooled, whether they already lived in the county and they're just interested in getting in a new club, or they came from a different state and need to see somebody that they can necessarily rely on or relate to. So I think those were good. So moving on, what are y'all's supervised agricultural experiences?
You'll never believe it. My SAE is over bee production, specifically raising queens. So back when I moved into a different house like 4 or so years ago, and the people that happened to buy our old house, they were beekeepers, and before I know it, that became my high school job, and then later on it progressed into my SAE, and now it's my proficiency. I enjoy it a lot, other than getting stung in the face. When I get stung in the face, my face swells up, and I can't see. But
Aren't you allergic to bees?
yeah, I think I am. I think I'm allergic to bees, but
Oh my gosh, Lindsay.
but I enjoy my SAE. I feel like it's helped me grow, and I feel like it's helped me learn different things and about how without honeybees, agriculture really couldn't, survive through the aspect of the pollination and things like that.
My SAE is actually a new SAE that I'm starting. It's a research SAE. It's actually an agri-science fair project that I'm doing this year, and it's what impact do agriculture extension activities have on farmer knowledge? So in Ware County, we have young farmers, and what I'm going to be doing with this SAE is I'm going to be interviewing and talking to some of the farmers that we have in that organization and seeing what impact it's had on their knowledge of farming and such as that.
My SAE is just going out and spreading awareness about agriculture, and it's basically agriculture communications. And I've done different things, I've gone to meetings for the city of Waycross, and I've talked to them about agriculture and FFA and how that shaped me, and just different things about that.
Yeah. So y'all have very interesting CDEs, and they fall under many different categories. And I actually have some bees from Lindsay at our house. So we get that honey every year, I think, or every other year. I don't know how much they do, but when we get that honey, it's a lot. And we don't necessarily know what to do with it. It's sitting in our cupboard right now.
Jose,
And,
I have a question for you.
all right.
What's your SAE?
My SAE? So I've kind of had multiple SAEs so far. I've had anything from, I built dog cages at one point. I built birdhouses, but most recently, I own a sheep. I own 2 sheep, and I raise them and I show them. And the plan right now is to keep on expanding that. And I want to get them bred by the end of this show year so I can raise my own show lamb business and maybe sell some for market and some for the show side of it. And I also have this as my SAE, and I'm hoping that it could reach out and other people can get to learn about agriculture.
Yeah.
So you're
Yes.
busy.
Busy guy.
I'm trying to. These junior year's hitting hard, so it's been rough. All right. So moving on, what would be y'all's favorite event and why? So it could be anything from a CDE, a LDE, maybe conventions or rallies or anything that we've done so far.
I got this, y'all. So my favorite CDE is poultry judging, and I'm kind of partial because it is the best CDE that FFA has to offer. And all of you watching, not to be like rude or anything, but Ware County FFA is going to get first place this year.
Okay, for me, I know this doesn't really fall into like competitions or anything like that, but I feel like the FFA camp over the summer, that is one of my absolute favorite things. I always feel like I meet great people, and I make everlasting connections with those people. And just recently, this weekend actually, I traveled 2 hours to go meet one of my friends that I made from camp, and I just feel like those relationships will never be, are just a great thing to have, and I love it.
My favorite thing, my favorite LDE is definitely prepare public speaking. But like if we're doing like an event, it's like probably state convention. Like it's always fun.
State convention's
Always
always
fun.
fun. The sea of blue.
But I think this year it's gonna be national convention when I finally get to go.
Oh, yeah.
See, I've always loved National Convention because say you're standing in line, and I always go to the Cavender's booth, and I look at all the jeans and jackets that I can't afford.
Yeah.
And when you're in line checking out, you just meet somebody, and you see on the back of their
you just
jacket.
Yeah.
talk with 'em.
Yeah, and you just bring up a conversation, and
And
you realize how different your chapters are and how the states
Yeah.
are in FFA. And I feel like that shows the diversity of
Yeah.
FFA.
Getting to meet somebody across the
Mm,
country.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to spend like $500 in that shop.
Yeah.
It is.
Very easy.
Price is going up this year. It's going to be a little higher. Hey, I love going to the expo where you get all the free stuff.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Free
my
stuff
Those are the
is
best.
always great.
There's like this booth. I can't remember what it's called. I know they have the Ariat one there, and they always give out free hats.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
yeah,
I
the-
remember
the
that.
line's long, but it's a free hat.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
All right, so moving on, what would be y'all's plans after high school?
Me, I don't know what college I want to go to, but I definitely want to become like some kind of lawyer, maybe like a child advocacy lawyer, or I might do something with agriculture and FFA. I'm not really sure, but definitely like some kind of lawyer.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a senior and I still don't know what I want to do, but I'm just gonna play it by ear, and hopefully, no matter what I want to do, I want to be involved in ag. I want to help students in ag. I want to continue to do things like that. So whatever I do, I just want to still be involved in that in a way. But maybe we'll see how it goes in the next year or so. Maybe I'll find something.
My plans after high school, I plan to graduate from Ware County High School, and then I'll go to ABAC and get my degree in agriculture education and become an ag teacher.
Yep, those are great answers. I want to be like Lainee. I hope to go to ABAC down the road. And
Jose, you're gonna make it.
Yeah, I imagine
You're gonna make it
I
back.
think you might make it.
And at Our
Slim
West
chance.
and get my ag ed degree, then go to UGA, and then from there work out of school or start a new chapter wherever the wind takes me is where I'm going to
Yep.
be. So moving on, what would be your FFA event in the chapter? So it could be from banquet, maybe a FFA meeting, a tradition that we do at a FFA meeting, or
You mean like your
Like in
favorite?
the chapter.
yeah, like in
Like
what
your
would
Uh-oh.
what would your favorite event be in
Oh.
the chapter?
Okay, you can go.
Okay, so every year, or we started this like what 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not sure, but during the November FFA meeting, we do this thing called the turkey hunt, where us as FFA officers are the turkeys, and or the turkey shoot, turkey hunt, whatever it is, and our members try to go and find us, and then they have to get us back. Or one year they had to drag us back or carry us back to the ag center, and that was fun, to say the least. But I will say that is definitely my favorite event because it's always fun watching people run by you, still looking
See-
for you.
See, that's my favorite event too. I would say where I hide, but I've won 2 years in a
No.
row now,
No,
so
I'm
I'm
not
not gonna
saying
say
that.
where I hide.
They didn't find me
But
last year.
I just got to say I hid there for 2 years straight, and I still haven't gotten found. But where I hide, you can see everybody
Yeah.
walking by,
That's
and
funny.
they last year somebody flashed their flashlight at me and Maddox, and they still didn't realize
Oh
because
my gosh.
we were wearing camo hoodies because we came prepared.
You
We
are-
weren't losing.
Y'all, we take this serious.
All right, what about you, Lainee?
My favorite FFA event, it's not really like a meeting tradition, but I really like the kindergarten and fifth grade ag days. It's always really fun to talk to the little kids and hear them say that they don't know where milk comes from, or that milk comes from a chicken, or I didn't know chickens laid eggs. It's just always really funny, and we even get to teach the teachers something.
Yeah, that's kind of one of my favorite events too. It's funny seeing a kid go in the barn and they say a lamb is a pig, or is that a small cow? But I like that because you get to meet with new kids and teach them about ag.
Y'all, one year I was teaching about chickens, about the production of chickens, and about like their eggs and all that. And a little kid came up to me and told me that their chicken had puppies, and I was like, okay, wonderful.
One girl told me that her chicken laid 64 eggs a day, and I was like, girl, I want your chicken.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, the kindergarten ag days and the 5th grade ag days are my favorite too. Like, I just love the little kids and everything.
I feel like they always leave so much happier
Yeah.
than when
Yeah.
they came.
Yeah.
Especially
for
the teachers.
sure.
Like, I loved getting to know the
Yeah.
teachers, and they all say, like, at the end that they're going to keep talking about agriculture
Yeah.
to their students. Like, it's actually making a difference.
And my favorite part is when you're in the barn and you see their reactions of the
Yeah.
smell going
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
barn. And I kind of going with Elly what she said about the teachers. A lot of teachers tell us that they learn a lot too from us teaching them, and they said, "Wow, I never knew that. You could also get this from a cow or from a sheep or a chicken," and they also learn stuff too. So
We
those are
literally
very
changed the way some people think about
Yeah.
different different things in the grocery store, and I just love that we can
Yeah.
create that impact on people.
Yeah, because a lot of people need education on agriculture. They need to know where their food comes
Yeah.
from, where their
Yeah.
clothes come from, where their house comes from too.
Yeah.
I mean, we provide everything, and they don't know nothing about it.
Ag
But-
literacy is so important, and the
Yeah.
rates have like dwindled down over the years. Like
Yeah.
it used to, like some people it's just.
It's kind of like what I said, like, when I was in Florida. Like, I didn't realize that, like,
Mhm.
there's actually, like, farmers and things like
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
I knew what a farmer was, but I've never seen a farm before. Like, I've only seen groceries at the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's like people put their stereotype in the head about
Yeah.
a farmer, and they don't think that we can have modern farms now too, like was it aquaponics?
Hydroponics.
Hydroponics, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Like we have in our greenhouse growing lettuce in the hydroponic system, and they may not know that that's a different type of farming, and
Yeah.
they put the stereotype in their head: a rancher, a pitchfork in hand, overalls on, yep, in the middle of the field. But those are some good answers. So moving on, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years.
I see myself hopefully, like as I said, either starting a new chapter or like have started a new chapter, or working at a school teaching kids about ag ed and just preparing them for their future, no matter what industry that they want to go into, because FFA is going to help you become a better person, whether you're going into law or if you're actually going into agriculture or you want to be a nurse. It's going to help you no matter what career path you choose.
Leadership.
Yes.
Leadership. Good skills in that. In the next 10 years, I think I see myself. This is hard. I don't know what I want to do, but hopefully, hopefully I'm gonna be successful and hopefully have my own area by then, and maybe a couple acres, and I don't know. I just want to be successful. So
Rich.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
My version of rich.
I don't know where I want to be in 10 years. Obviously, like I said, a lawyer, but hopefully I'm at least, like, helping people is what I want to do. Like, at least make a difference for
Make
people.
a difference.
Just
Yeah.
take it one day at a time.
Exactly,
guys.
yeah.
Well, those are good answers.
Jose.
Jose.
Where do you
Where
see
do you-
Yeah.
Where do I see myself in 10 years? If everything goes according to plan, hopefully being an ag teacher. But if that fails, hopefully getting an animal science degree and starting my own farm business
Lamb
and
farm.
my own the only lamb farm in Ware County.
Yeah, only lamb.
So that's where I see myself, but I'm heavy on the ag teacher part.
Yes.
So what is something that y'all are looking forward to this year?
I got this. I am really looking forward to going to a national convention, and I cannot wait to meet everyone, just like get to know people, talk to them, get to have a fun time.
So what about you, Lainee?
I like competing in all the competitions. I compete in several. I compete in ag sales, poultry judging, livestock judging, extemporaneous public speaking. I feel like I'm forgetting a few. Forestry field days, which I'm not the best at. Sorry, Mr. Renshaw, I'm not good at forestry field days. I do like I said, I do various different competitions. I'm really looking forward to those this year. But other than that, I really enjoy our chapter meetings and getting to talk with members, especially like one-on-one. And I don't know, I just enjoy like that person that's like sitting by themselves and like doesn't know anybody.
Yeah.
I like love going up to those people and like, hey, I'm blah 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 blah, and we're so glad that you're here and that you have a spot here and you have a spot
Yeah.
in FFA.
You're always
And
welcome.
Especially
that's-
because.
and that's what I'm really excited for this year again.
This kind of ties on to what Lainee was saying. My biggest thing that I'm excited about this year is the new faces in FFA in our chapter and recruiting new people always. I'm really excited about that, and I can't wait to tell them about what all FFA has to offer and see how they change as a person from starting FFA to ending with it. Because when you start, you might be this shy person that doesn't want to talk to anybody, like I was. I really, like, in middle school, I hardly talked to anybody. I was scared to do the competitions, and now here I am, the FFA president. And I'm so proud of that. I'm so excited to see how all these members will grow along kind of like that. I'm just, you know.
And we've all been the new member, and we've
Yeah.
all like been the one in the corner that doesn't really know
Yeah.
anyone. And so like just helping those people, and then also just like getting to grow yourself and being able to
Yes.
learn.
And like thinking back to like whenever you were that person in the corner and like you think about that one individual who took time to like
Yeah.
talk with you,
Yeah.
it made such a difference.
You get to be that person.
Yeah, they really are a life changer, and here we are getting to be the same life-changing people
'Cause,
for some
yeah.
of these members. And it's just, I guess the biggest thing is getting to see how our members change for the better. That's so rewarding. It's a rewarding
Yeah.
thing to
And
see.
I feel like, kind of like you're saying, the best thing to see is somebody that you helped get there,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they're there.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes like we like beat ourselves up when we get like kind of down and depressed about it. Like, oh, I'm not making a difference. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm not going to do anything because who cares? It's nothing. But like we look back to that and you think about those people who did make a difference in your life. Imagine if they wouldn't have done that. Imagine
Exactly,
if they
yeah.
wouldn't have stepped out. So you could feel included or you can feel valued and appreciated. So that's why I feel like it's important to take initiative and talk to those people, even though we feel like we're just small sometimes.
Yeah.
Whether you know it or not, there's always somebody looking up to you, and always remember
Yeah.
that.
And with that, like Lindsay, how you just said, there's always somebody looking up to you.
Yeah.
It can either be a person younger than you, maybe a person older than you that's
Yeah.
can look up to you.
Yeah.
You always set an example, and you never know who's watching. That's a big thing. You never know who's watching, so you always have to do the right thing in that moment. So moving on from that, what would y'all say is y'all's favorite part about being a chapter officer?
I feel like adding on to what we just said,
Yeah.
meeting the new people and just like talking with them, and like Lindsay said, getting to see that freshman that like first started out and then like sprout into like what she said, like she sprouted to like a senior and now she's like president. Just seeing like how people grow over the years through FFA and how FFA has helped them to grow so tremendously. I feel like that's the best part. Other than that, my favorite part about being a chapter officer is the officer team. I really like being able to work with different groups of people, and we're not all the same, and our personalities are different, and sometimes they clash, and that's okay. But I feel like getting to work with those people, it gives you experience like whenever you get ready to go in the workforce too. And I feel like that's why we talk about like FFA whether you're going into ag or you want to be a nurse or you want to be an engineer, like it's gonna help you, like no matter what career you want to go into. And I don't know, I just feel like being on the officer team this year has helped me so far. We ain't even been on that long. Just prepare myself better for life ahead.
I think that with being a chapter officer, it opens your doors to so many different things you get to go and do, so many different things that you wouldn't get to do if you didn't take that leadership position. And I take pride in that. I'm so glad that we get to go and do these things. We make connections with different people, or just with anything. We learn new things, and sometimes it even sprouts career opportunities for some people. I haven't found mine yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. But I feel like that's one thing I look forward to this year, and this being my last year, is hopefully, I know.
Don't say that.
Is, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the connections, really.
Like, kind of going off of what Lainee said, like, one of my favorite parts is just getting to know the people in the officer team, because, like, before, like, this year, I didn't really know Lindsay, like, at all. Like, I knew she
I
was,
didn't
like...
even know she lived in Worth County.
I knew she was, like, one of the FFA officers, but, like, I never really had, like, more than, like, maybe 3 conversations with her.
Yeah.
Not that many conversations, but, like, now we're pretty good friends, I would say. And, like, I'm good friends with most of the people on the officer team. And we're all just, like, getting to know each other, and it's really fun. I'm excited for that. And I'm really excited to be able to be, like, a leader for the community.
Jose, what's your favorite part about being a chapter officer?
My favorite part, I would probably say meeting new people, but specifically the little members, if that makes sense. The middle school members, I know some of them may see them as a little, they need more watching on them than others, or guidance, but I feel like I love working with them, even though some of the high schoolers don't love working with the middle schoolers.
They love you. They love all the high schoolers.
I know.
That's your sign. That's your sign to be a middle school.
Yeah, you need to be a middle schooler.
I don't know about
Only
middle school.
certain people can do that.
I can handle being around them for 2 hours, but I don't know about 8 hours a day.
So you thinking about being a high
no
school
hate,
ag teacher?
no hate.
No hating. But I really love working with them, and
Thank you to all our middle school ag teachers.
and,
Yes.
and I just like seeing them because they're kind of the future of
Yeah.
our chapter. They're
Yeah.
coming up to the high school.
Yeah.
So kind of like we were talking about preparing them for a higher, not necessarily higher, but a bigger chapter, if that makes sense, where you have both schools combined, and
Yeah.
you know they clash at football games, but once they get to the high school, they're together.
Yeah.
So
I'm the only one here that went to Waycross. I just realized that.
But that would definitely have to be my favorite part about
Yeah.
being a chapter officer.
Also, like, we've seen, like, just because we just got one of our middle school chapters started a few years ago, we've seen how much our FFA
Yeah.
chapter has grown in the past few years. And so, like, they really are, like, the future of it.
I agree.
So these were amazing answers, and I really loved all of them. So what would be some of the biggest challenges you have faced so far as chapter officers?
So this year, like so far, we haven't had that much time together. We just had Cole and school just started. But so far, I feel like we need to communicate a little bit better. And I feel like in years past on the officer team, we've had problems with communication. And a lot of problems could have been prevented if we would have just communicated better. So I really want to keep communication like the key like to this year for us not having problems and for us having a smooth year and us all getting along. So I feel like that's a problem that we faced before, and I'm hoping, like I'm praying and hoping that we can keep that as our focus this year and that we wouldn't have any problems communication-wise.
We're going to do great. My biggest one was self-confidence. That's something I've like struggled with in the past, is being really confident with different things. But I feel like now I'm doing better with that. And everybody has their days or whatever, but I feel like being in FFA has helped me be more confident towards different things. Lainee? I mean, Elly.
Does it all the time. Anyways, my big struggle would be that Lindsay keeps calling me Lainee. No, I don't know. I've only been a high school chapter officer for like a month now, but I mean, I really like all the people, but I would say one of the major things for me would be like just getting down on myself if I didn't get something that I wanted or something didn't go right. Like for my speech last year, I missed a whole paragraph and I was really mad at myself. But now, like, going back on that, like, it wasn't that big of a deal, and I need to really, like, focus on that and be like, it's okay to mess up.
And Elly, I've always, like, felt the same way about stuff. I'm really bad about beating myself up. I tell my math teachers, like, up front, I'm like, I'm really hard on myself, and if I don't understand something, like, I get really upset, and I tell them up front. And it's something that I personally have really had to work on and try not to beat myself up about it, and, like, hey, it's okay, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I completely agree.
I know Miss Renshaw right now is like, Elly, yeah, that's one thing. Like, she told me that all the time when I was starting off my speech. She's like, you need to calm down, stop getting onto yourself.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so moving on, if you could go back in time and give yourself advice, what would it be and why?
Okay, so for me, if I could go back, I would tell myself, do that competition, go to that event, go try out that new sport, go do this or do that, because you always lose time. You can never gain it back, and that is the biggest thing. You always need to go and try something. If you think you might like it, even if you think you might not like it, still try it, because you never know until you try it.
Okay. I feel like it's kind of hard for me to go after Lindsay because she kind of summed
I
everything.
know, that's what I was going to go with that kind of thing, but now
She
I got to
kinda-
come up with
I
something.
had to preach for a minute.
She kind of summed up everything perfectly, and I kind of agree with her. If I were to go back, I'd tell myself to do a lot of other things, and I'd probably fix some mistakes or some things that I shouldn't have said, and mistakes that I've made. But I kind of agree with her where I would do more things, especially in middle school. I piddled a little bit with FFA, but in high school, I really went after it, and I wish I would have done that in middle school because I feel like I would have got so much more out of middle school and how it was if I were to do that.
And don't worry about what other people think.
Yes.
Do what makes you happy.
Yes.
Y'all keep taking
Preach
all my
it. I'm
answers.
sorry.
I was really just about to say,
Preach
don't
it,
care what
Lindsay.
people think.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Well, you can still say it.
Well,
Yeah.
that is my thing. Do not care what other people think. Just go with the flow. Go with what you think is right. And all that kind of stuff.
I agree.
Those are good answers. So, the last and final thing before we go, what is one thing that you would tell a person who is interested in joining FFA?
That's a really good question. Jose, we're actually going to start with you.
Yeah,
what would
we
you
are.
You're gonna
tell
start
somebody?
with me?
Yeah.
So, what I want to tell a person if they were just interested in joining, say they were right here in front of me, I would say they probably think FFA is just for ag kids. That's what they'll probably have on their mind. So I'll probably tell them FFA has a plethora of things that you can do, whether you were born on a farm, born in the city, wherever you came from, there's a place for you. So if you're an ag kid, you can still continue doing the things that you do, but say maybe that you weren't as lucky to be born on a farm, but you still want to be an FFA. There's different things from ag communications, leadership activities, to anything that you could do. And I would just say join. It is an amazing organization, the best student-led organization,
Yes.
and it is the best thing ever. And I always say FFA will change you, but it will always change you for the better, never for the worse.
Never for
Never.
the worst.
Never for the worst. That's one thing I'll tell
Yeah.
them.
So definitely going off of what Jose said, like it's for everyone. And also just like there is something for you. Like even if you're a shy kid, you can still do like livestock judging or meat judging and get to know your interests.
Listen, you don't even have to talk to anybody for that.
Mm-mm.
Unless, oh wait, yeah, you do.
Wait,
Reasons.
reasons.
You
but
have to talk with
it's
one
like
person.
it's like a minute. Like
You do poultry judging.
yeah,
Gotcha.
different things like that. Like there's something for everyone. And if you're even more courageous and outgoing, you can compete in the leadership development events, or you can just stick to your side of farming and different things like that.
My biggest thing is that you never know how much it has to offer until you actually join it. There is a reason that it is one of the fastest growing organizations in America.
Hit 1 million members.
1 million members.
Ooh,
Yay!
But it really is a great organization to get into. I've been blessed to have joined, yeah.
I feel like I should have probably went first because y'all stole like all of my stuff.
That's how I was feeling.
Kind of what all y'all went, like, I would just tell them, like, join FFA. You will never regret it. Like Jose said, you're never going to go into FFA and then come out a worse person. It's always going to change you for the better. Like, just
Drastically.
Yes, drastically. And I would tell them, a lot of people have the wrong assumption, that FFA is just plows and cows, and that's all it is. And like Elly was saying, FFA has something for you. No matter if you're the quiet kid, you're the loud one, there's something for you in FFA. And that's like one of the most beautiful parts, I think, of this organization, is it's just not tailored to one specific kind of person. It's tailored to each and every person, and that's why we're so successful, I believe.
Mhm. And like Lindsay, now I'm doing it. Lindsay said that she was like more the quieter kid, and now she's the president, and I was more of like the more extroverted person. And so like, and we both are here right now. Like, it changes both of us. Like, I've grown in my leadership and like talking to people, and then she's grown not being as quiet and different things like that. Like, everyone has something that they can work on, and FFA can help that.
For y'all to be able to picture this, listen. When I was in 8th grade, we had to present a PowerPoint, okay, in Miss Beverly's class. In 8th grade, little old me, I'm still little, but I haven't grown much since then. But y'all, I couldn't even present that to the class, and here I am now, being able to just go and talk to our many members in our chapter without even really second guessing it. And yes, I still do get nervous at times, but I mean, FFA has helped me grow so much with that.
Yeah, I kind of have a similar story to Lindsay's. We were presenting a PowerPoint, and it was your dream career. And back then, I had no idea what I was going to do because I wasn't in FFA yet, and I put a chef. So we had to present our PowerPoint, and I started crying. Not like hysterically crying, but, you know, a tear running down the face. This is what I'm doing and everything. But I feel like ever since I've gotten FFA, it's changed me for the better, and it's really helped me out with a lot. So.
And sometimes, like, you'll, like I joined, and then I, like, did it, and then I, like, looked back, and I was like, oh, my gosh, I've changed so much, because I kind of have a similar story to Jose's. Anytime, because I had just came from homeschooling, so I had no experience in public school, and I remember being in my 7th grade class, and a teacher was trying to talk to me about an assignment they had done, and I had missed it because I had joined, like, later, and I just started, like, bawling. Like, I could not talk. Like, I could not talk to people, like, on a normal basis. It was just, and then now I'm doing competitions where that's, like, the whole point of talking to people. And I don't know, it's just helped me, like, grow so much, more than I can, like, even imagine. And I'm sure there's some things that I can't even think of that FFA has, like, helped me to accomplish.
Yep, so these were amazing answers that I've had today, and I'm really glad that y'all have made the trip to be here. I know it was a long drive or walk. Maybe.
I got stuck in traffic for 2 hours. Well, I was almost late.
Almost.
Well,
Not like John Haven.
well, I loved having y'all on the podcast today. And thank you for watching the second episode of the Blue Jacket Banner. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media to stay up to date. And we thank you for watching or listening.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.